No.
There it is.
Yeah.
It took time. Okay, now we're in. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then Stacy, I'll let you kind of kick us off, and then I've got some updates I'll share from my side as well, and some new folks to introduce you all to, and we'll go from there.
Well, welcome everyone. Like I said, I know there's someone that's on about the phone. I don't know who that is, but hello. Go ahead.
Marie Huff.
Marie, welcome.
Hey, Marie.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
So, one of the things we wanted to definitely talk about tonight to kind of start off was kind of filling out if anyone would be interested, or if you all know anyone that would be interested, maybe join the leadership team with us. We definitely could use some help and support where that is concerned. So I don't know if anyone now that's on with us is interested. If you do, you can definitely reach out to me for some more information, or John. We definitely, the better our leadership team, the easier it'll be for everybody to kind of share the load, and just better for our community in general, really, if we could have more people together and help plan out how our relay will go, which we don't really know how that will look really until we kind of get further into the season. I don't know what else you have got. I know that you wanted to introduce Holly, which is our community partner to everyone.
Yeah, so let me, so just because I don't know if where everyone's at on everything that we've gone through. So if you remember last fall, we had talked about potentially merging a few different relays in the area together. And we're not going to, we're still merging the triangle side, but the Granville, Franklin, Vance County, you and Franklin are going to maintain your own separate events. And that's one of the big reasons we definitely need folks to join the leadership team with Stacy and some our other key folks, because we thought we were going to have these people joining us, and now that they're not joining us, we have some big gaps we need to get filled. So we definitely would love for any of you, if you're on the call or listening to this recording, or know a friend that might be interested, the bigger our leadership team, the better the event can be, and the less work that everyone has to put in to make that event amazing. And we've been struggling the last couple of years, I'd say, on a lot of people doing a few people doing a lot, and I'd rather have a lot of people doing a little, and that's how we'll be successful. So yeah, I'll just jump in from there. Let me go back to here. So we did, ACS had talked about, with the pandemic, we were hoping by January we would know a better idea of where we were going to be. And now that we know the vaccines are starting to get out, we're excited, but we still see that that's going to take some time. And the best data we have is that we really shouldn't be doing events mostly in that first half of the year. So we've pushed our normal May event out to the end of June in hopes that we don't have to move it again. And this gives us a little bit more time for planning, but also gives us a better chance at being able to be together in person. The reality is we're going to have to probably have like a plan B as well. But just having, that June date should help us be able to hopefully be in person. If everyone get the vaccines, if we kind of create that almost like herd immunity, hopefully we'll be back to having in-person events. Now, Relay could still look different this year, like Stacy had mentioned, because we don't know exactly how everything's going to play out between now and June. It could be that, for our high-risk population, our survivors and things like that, they're still not going to feel comfortable coming out to traditional things like survivor dinners and survivor walks and things like that. So we're all going to have to be a bit flexible as we move in through this year and see how Relay is going to shape up. But we definitely would love for you all to join us on the leadership team to help us make Relay what it can be in 2021, even if it's not exactly like it normally is. Okay, so did want to actually, let me go back to here. So I wanted to introduce Holly, and because of all of our staff changes at ACS, we've had, obviously I talked through last time for those of you that were on our call that we've taken a lot of our staff and we've had to cut those staff across the country. So I used to manage a team of 6 Folks used to work with relays and our breast cancer walks out of the Raleigh office, and now there's only 2 of us left. So it's kind of sad to say goodbye to friends, but at the same time, realizing that we need to find a new way to help support all of our different communities and all of our amazing volunteers. So one of those things is looking at new ways that we can be in communities where we can't be personally present all the time. So Granville is actually I'm passing you guys over to a new community manager, a new staff partner from the American Cancer Society, and her name is Holly Durham, and she's going to be your remote manager for now and the future. And what that basically means is she can do everything that, my team and myself have done for you all in the past. She just works remotely, so she won't be physically present with you all, but she'll join calls. She'll be a phone call away whenever you need something, or an email away. So let me stop presenting real quick so we can go back to the video, and I'll let Holly introduce herself, and then I know we're going to be sending out some more stuff later where you all can start to get to know her, and we'll go from there. So Holly, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening, and let me take some time, just a couple of minutes, to join you on your first call. I really appreciate being a part of your event and look forward to working with everyone. And some of you may just be team captains, and we do look forward to you joining the ELT if you feel comfortable with doing that. So as John said, as a remote staff partner, I can do everything for your event except physically be at your event and be that extra set of hands. But I look forward to working with you. I've been with the American Cancer Society. This is my 10th year. And so I'm really looking forward to working with everyone there. I've actually picked up about 15 events in the North Carolina area. And I'm very familiar with a lot of the area down there, not because I've ever lived there before, but my sister did live in Raleigh, North Carolina for about 5 years. I've had a lot of friends that lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I've frequented the area quite a bit, but I do look forward to hearing more from you about your areas and helping me to learn your community and more about how you relay and what you like to do in your communities. And what I think I can share with you is more about what we do as a remote community. We have over 760 events that's in remote status, so I think you can feel comfortable about how well we do as remote staff partners, and we work with our communities. And I think once you get involved in it and a part of our relay community in the remote status, I think you'll feel very comfortable with it, and I look forward to working with everyone.
Yeah, and I will piggyback on that. So about 2 or 3 years ago, one of our smaller events out in, I want to say Lee County, but that's not the right one, Chatham County, went to our remote staff, and they have just flourished. Because they were so far away from Raleigh, it cost us so much money to get out there. It wasn't cost effective. We were spending more money on mileage and bringing things out to the teams than it would have cost just to mail it. So, it wasn't a good use of our donor dollars that you guys are working so hard to raise. So that event went remote. They've been doing amazing. They still raise great. They have incredible engagement with sponsors. They're one of the events that had a drive-through luminaria ceremony. They did it out at a golf club out there. It was just absolutely amazing. So I'm still here. I'm still in Raleigh. Holly will be your new primary contact. But obviously, I'm still here. So if Holly, if there's an emergency or something and she's like, hey, John, I need you to do this for me for Granville, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. And once we do have our new Raleigh office up and going at some point this year or next year, there will be a place where if you do need to come in and drop something off or whatever, it will exist. But right now, our Raleigh office is still closed and is going to remain closed at this point. As I don't have a reopen date, but the current space we're in is way too big for our current staffing. Now that we've cut staff, like I said before, it was over 2,000 people across the country, and we just have too much space using. So we're going to be moving into some sort of a satellite type location as well. So anyways, point being, I'm not going anywhere. I think y'all are going to love Holly. I've just been getting to know her over the last couple of weeks, and she's incredible. She definitely is very, I would say, more detail oriented and better at keeping track of things than me. So for those of you who are like, oh man, John, you missed that for me. Holly won't miss it because she's amazing. So anyway, you'll get to know her a little bit more as we move forward. And we'll go ahead and update the website. So you'll get her contact information on the website. And Holly's actually going to send out the recording and everything and then the slides for you all after this meeting as well. So, and send you some more information about her. So you will have her contact information quickly after our call and then, you know, by the end of the week. So no worries there. But yeah, so let me just jump back to kind of a few more updates from the ACS side. And then we really would love I've got a lot of information to share, but then we really want to hear from you guys. So I'm going to pause as I go through each section. But remember, once I go back to sharing the screen, I can't see anyone. And I won't see if you raise your hand or if you come off mute or anything like that. So don't feel like you're interrupting me. If you have a question, ask me, because there's some big things we're going to talk about. And then definitely at the end, I want to kind of share a great piece of the national kickoff for those of you that may have missed it, which is an awesome survivor story. And then we'll kind of have a little bit more question and answer time at the end. So, but I am going to try to keep us into that hour as best I can. So I will talk fast, but like I said, if you have questions, feel free to stop me, interrupt me as needed. I do not take offense. We all have to learn how to do these meetings virtually. And one of those things is once I'm presenting, I can't see you. So I won't know if you're about to try to talk. So feel free to jump in at any point, okay? All right, so let me get back to sharing my screen. And here we go. Okay. So big thing happening right now. You should have gotten an email this morning. And we kicked off a registration camp challenge that we started after the national kickoff last week. So there's been multiple emails that have gone out. There's multiple things happening on our Facebook page. But the most recent was an email this morning. So if you didn't get that email, check your spam folder or whatever. If for some reason you didn't get it, please let us know, let Holly or myself know, because that could be that you may be on like a don't email list, which, you know, I've talked about this many times, but I know a few team captains had mentioned they may not have gotten the email about tonight's meeting. We send all of our emails updates through the website, and that allows folks to opt out, and that's a legal thing that we have to do. So if for some reason you didn't get emails about this meeting and you're watching the recording, or if you didn't get the registration challenge email from this morning, let us know, because we can check your contact record and see if at any point you've told the American Cancer Society, hey, please stop emailing me. And we can update that for you, but we definitely need to know. So if you didn't get the emails, first thing, check spam. You can look for a couple things. Most of the emails will come from me. That'll be like john.stress@cancer.org, or, you know, now it'll be Holly, but there's also this online event support email that sometimes they go through. So if you have, you know, you can check for those couple things and see if you've gotten the emails. But big thing here is we really want to start the year strong and get our teams registered. So all of our teams from last year, of course, we want them back this year, but we also want some new teams. And even looking at teams that maybe didn't come back last year with the pandemic, and maybe now they're in a spot where they can. So if you can get registered by the 16th of February, you're going to get entered into the sweepstakes automatically to win an Apple Watch, Apple AirPods Pro, or Kendra Scott jewelry set. So that's pretty awesome. Usually when you register for Relay, there's no special prize for it. But right now there is. So I really want everyone to take advantage of that. Get your team signed up, get your participants, your team members signed up by the 16th. That's the only caveat. You got to get signed up by then to get into the drawing for this. And if you're on this call and you're like, John, I signed up last month, or I signed up last fall, you're good. You're already in. So don't worry about it. But encourage everyone that you know to get signed up by the 16th so that they can get into this amazing drawing. Because I don't know about you all, but I could definitely use some Apple AirPods Pro, because I'm sitting here with my little old school headphones on this call. So anyway, easy way to get registered, of course, relayforlife.org/GranvilleNC. The link will be here in the slides we send out after the meeting. If for some reason you or anyone on your team doesn't like registering online, or just like computer doesn't work right how you want it to the day you're trying to register, keep in mind you can always just call the 800 number for the American Cancer Society, which of course is 1-800-227-2345. Anytime you call, you can get registered right over the phone. Probably the simplest way to get registered in the world if you're not super computer savvy. But definitely encourage you to get registered by the 16th to get involved with this. So any questions on the registration challenge? Okay, I'm going to assume I'm moving on. Awesome. Okay, so this is probably one of the biggest updates. And if you joined the national kickoff, you've already kind of got a preview of the fact of what we're doing with shirts in 2021. So the good news here is that we will have Relay for Life shirts. We're very excited to be able to offer those, but the program is going to look very different this year than it has in the past. And the big reason for that is we are still trying to be the best stewards of donor dollars, the money that you guys are raising. And we need to make sure as much of the money as possible goes to fund our mission, which is going to fund that life-saving cancer research to help provide support for cancer patients and caregivers. Those are the big things that we want your money to be doing, not being a shirt factory, right? So shirts are going to look different. And I'm going to talk through that. If you've got questions, feel free, like I said, jump in anytime because I won't be able to see you. But we will have shirts, and there's going to be kind of two categories what I want to talk about. So first, we're going to cover Hope Club, and then we'll get into Team Captain, Leadership, and Survivors after that. Hope Club shirts are similar to all the other years where you raise your $100 to earn your Hope Club shirt because that's your like badge of honor to say, hey, I raised $100 with Relay for Life of Granville County. So that will remain the same. You raise your $100 to get your shirt. The only difference is instead of having to wait till the event to get your shirt, you're going to be able to go in and order your shirt as soon as you've raised your $100. Now, the final details of this whole program are being worked out, and we're expecting to have that kind of finalized in about the next 2 weeks or so. So be on the lookout for more information. So if you were to go to the Relay Rewards site, which is shoprelayrrewards.org, which is also on the screen, that's where you're going to go to order your Hope Club shirt once you've raised your $100. And you're going to be able to do that through your Relay Reward points, right? So you get a point per dollar that you raise. So you're going to be able to take your points and basically redeem for your Hope Club shirt. And then they're going to directly mail your Hope Club shirt right to your home. So that's really cool. That's going to definitely allow us to better serve you all and get your shirts to you way earlier than the event. So we're excited about that. One big change to the Hope Club shirt, we're not going to print the custom backs to the shirts. And that allows us to save a significant amount of money. So your Hope Club shirt will just be a plain shirt on the back, but on the front, of course, it will have that relay design. So one thing with that is the sponsorship package needs to change and get tweaked a little bit because the benefit of having your name or your logo on the back of the sponsor or the Hope Club shirt won't be available anymore. We're going to work on our side between Holly and I, and we'll tweak that sponsorship package and get that out to you all so you can go ahead and try to renew your sponsors and get new sponsors. But just know when you're talking to sponsors this year, please make sure they know that the names and logos will not be offered on the back of the shirts because of the cost-saving measures that ACS is implementing. Okay, so any questions there before I move on? Okay, assuming we're good. So for Team Captain, Leadership shirts, and Survivor shirts, you're also going to be able to get all of those through the same Relay Rewards website at shoprelayrrewards.org. The only difference is instead of the traditional how we would order big groups of these shirts, we pass them all out at the meetings or at the event. By not doing that and letting you all get the shirts on the website, it's going to save us about $1.75 million across the country. So this is pretty huge cost savings for the American Cancer Society. And it allows you all to basically purchase your shirts straight on the website. So if you want that shirt, you're able to go in, order it, and get that shirt. If you want, you're a leadership team member, you're a team captain, you're a survivor, you can get all of those shirts just like you normally would. You're just going to be able to go ahead and order them yourself. Now, the pricing system has not been totally worked out. That's what they're tweaking now, because they're trying to figure out how much the shirt costs to make and then how much it's going to cost to ship it out. And then there might be some changes as far as, like, say your team has maybe 10 survivors that are on your team or as a part of your team, and you want to get your survivor shirts. Well, you'll be able to do that through the website and just order their shirts. But I don't know if the shipping for, like, say you're ordering 10 survivor shirts might be different from ordering one, team captain shirt or something like that. So those final details are being worked out. So stay tuned. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we'll have that for you all. But you will be able to get the shirts. But like I said, you'll be able to purchase them on that website. I don't anticipate them being super expensive. We don't have prices, so I don't want to promise you anything. But it's not like we're trying to make money on the shirts. We're trying to cover the costs of the shirts, if that makes sense. So the idea is that the cost of the shirts, ACS won't absorb that. You all be able to buy them when you want them. And that will help us, like I said, put about $1.75 million back into our mission, back into funding life-saving research. And you all know how much research we fund right here in North Carolina. I think we're still over somewhere $12-14 million right now, which is absolutely incredible. Places like Duke, UNC, Wake Forest, absolutely amazing research happening right in our back door that you all are helping to fund. And these changes, while it's going to be a little bit to get us used to them, is going to help save and help fund our mission like never before. So I do want to pause there because I'm assuming there's probably questions at this point. So anyone have questions for me? Wow, I'm shocked. No questions. Okay. Did anyone type questions in the chat box? I don't know, Stacy or Holly, if you can see that.
I was just making comments to follow up with what you were saying in the chat box, but no one has any questions yet. Okay.
Well, I anticipate there probably will be questions. So if you're watching this recording or listening to the recording, feel free to reach out to Holly or myself. Know that we may not have the answer for every question right now because the final details, like the logistical stuff of this, are being worked on right now with our t-shirt providers. But we will have t-shirts. We're excited about that. And you'll be able to get your shirts way earlier. You won't have to wait till the event. So you'll be able to get your shirts when you want your shirts. But you'll need to raise the $100 to earn the Hope Club shirt like usual. But then you can purchase any of the other shirts that you want. Okay. All right. Well, if you have questions after the fact, like I said, reach out to Holly or myself, and we'll put following up with more information as we get it. But we wanted to make sure we kept you all informed as to where we are at right now today. Okay, so I know I mentioned before the national kickoff. Hopefully some of you are able to join us. I did see folks from a lot of our local events when I was on, but if you were on the event, you'll notice how quickly like the Facebook comments scrolled through because there were so many people that joined us. So it was difficult. I tried to say hi to a few different people that I saw online here and there, but it was a bit tricky to catch everyone. So if you joined the kickoff, thank you for joining us. It was an absolutely amazing event. Great stories were shared. We had some good interviews with some folks from across the country, including Dr. Patel, who manages our CPS3 program. If you remember CPS3, when we were working with a lot of you and our past relay volunteers years ago to register folks for that study, there's actually amazing things coming out of that. That's a long-term cancer prevention study. The first one that ACS did was really geared around connecting tobacco to cancer. So you can see like the impact that these studies can have long term. And Dr. Patel shares about that and other research. So definitely encourage you all, if you missed the kickoff, to go ahead and watch it now. I've got a link in the slide. It will be in the notes that come to you after the meeting. So just whenever you're free, take a look at that. I think it was probably about 45 minutes. But absolutely incredible. They actually shared some screenshots too of the All-Star and Grand Club items this year. So those folks of you that are used to, raising your $1,000 for Grand Club or your 2,500 to get to your All-Star item, you'll get to see those if you watch that. So that's the advantage there. I didn't put them on the slides for y'all tonight because I want you to watch it. So take a look at that to see what those look like. And those should be getting into the Relay Rewards store as we move forward in the year. They don't have a date on that yet, but it should be happening sooner rather than later. But remember, you would normally get a redemption email, and that would be the same. So once you reach $1,000 for the Grand Club, you'll get an email that will direct you to redeem your certificate for that item. So definitely encourage you all to check that out. Okay, just wanted to jump in just briefly and talk about fundraising, because the biggest step, like I said, right now is to try to get our teams registered. So typically, this is not a normal year. A lot of times, a lot of our teams would have registered back in the fall or in January when we really did our normal, like traditional in-person kickoff, like right after the holidays. But since we weren't able to do that, we're a little bit behind on registration. So we'd love to get all of our teams back by February 16th. So you all would qualify for that great sweepstakes. But once you get your team registered, there's some ways you can start fundraising right now, regardless of the pandemic. So I wanted to cover just quick 4 really short things. Facebook fundraisers. So first one, super easy. You do need to be registered first on the Relay website. So you register on the website, and then from your dashboard, you can link. There's going to be a little button that says connect to Facebook fundraiser. You hit that, and within moments, you've got a Facebook fundraiser set up. And whenever someone donates to your Facebook fundraiser, you will see those donations flow into your Relay website in your dashboard on Relay. If you just start a Facebook fundraiser and it goes to the American Cancer side, that's great, but it won't show up in your dashboard for Relay. So need you to register first and then click in and connect that Facebook fundraiser. And I know a lot of folks have used Facebook fundraisers over the years, and it's definitely getting more popular. I can't recommend it enough, because I remember when my brother was battling cancer, I was sharing just stories about him and his battle and what I was doing with Relay. Like, he was my why am I walking in Relay that year, because he had just got diagnosed. And I tagged him in my Facebook posts, and I was seeing donations come in from people I didn't even know from across the country because they had seen it on my brother's Facebook page. So definitely encourage you all to use Facebook and use your social media platforms to reach out to folks, because especially while we've all been a bit more quarantined and on lockdown at different times over this pandemic, we've really needed social media to reach out to people and connect like never before. So use those same tools, but use them to share your story. Why do you walk? Why do you relay? And ask for folks to support you. And the reality is there's some folks that are still heavily financially impacted from all of this, and they may not be able to help. But there's a lot of other folks that are happy to help and looking for ways to support folks right now. And that story we're going to watch here in a little bit about the survivor. She got diagnosed during the pandemic. So cancer hasn't stopped. Folks are getting diagnosed, sadly, every day, and we've got to be there to help them and support them. So your fundraising is going to help us do that. So number 2, event sponsorship. Like I mentioned before, with the Hope Club t-shirts not having sponsors on the back this year, Holly and I are just going to tweak that sponsorship package, and we will then get that out to you all. It will be on the website. We'll post it there. We'll also send it out in an email. And that's a great way to kick off your fundraising. So reach out to sponsors we've had in the past, ask them to recommit for this year, and go ahead and send in their commitment form and their check. You can also reach out to new sponsors. Like I said, there's businesses that have been heavily impacted by the pandemic in a negative way, and there's also businesses that are doing really, really well. So think about like real estate, anything for like home repairs, things like that. It's just absolutely amazing to see like which industries are doing great. I mean, even restaurants, which we thought at first was like, oh, restaurants are going to close. I've seen like this one Chinese restaurant I go to, they have been doing better business now than before, because people are doing takeout like never before, or doing delivery with DoorDash or whatever it may be. So, reach out to folks. I mean, the worst they can say is, no, I can't help right now, and that's fine. You move on to someone else. But we definitely would encourage you all to reach out to the past sponsors, reach out some new sponsors, because you get one sponsorship in and you pretty much raised your Hope Club status right there. If you get that $1,000 sponsor, there you go, you're a Grand Club member. So use the sponsorship package that we're going to give you. If you need help reaching out to any sponsors, that's what we're here for on the staff side. We can help with that. But really, like, because we can't be in person with a lot of folks, like email and phone calls are better than ever before. So definitely encourage you all, take advantage of that and get some sponsors locked in for this year. And did want to share one, or actually two good things. And Stacy, if you can come off mute for a second, because I know we did share about the new sponsorship we got last fall, but do you want to share that again? Because I don't know if everyone's heard that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if everyone has, but nationwide, they actually donate it. Sorry, my little one. Here, hang on one second.
No worries. This is the fun part of doing all our calls at home, right? I just put my son to bed right before my first call tonight, so. Well, I can pick up where Stacy left off. So we nationwide out in Creedmoor is a new sponsor. They were amazing and helped us out in that middle of that pandemic time where we were trying to raise some money last fall when it was really difficult. And they were great to kind of come on board as a new sponsor. And what they had done is they'd actually, for every referral they got, they gave a donation to Relay. So it was absolutely incredible. We appreciated their support so much. But their new sponsor, you'll see them on the website. And then also wanted to highlight that Trim out of Creedmoor or Butner. Yeah, sorry, I'm like confusing myself real quick there. But anyways, they did come back and did their sponsorship again. So we're super excited to welcome Trim back. So yeah, we're already 2 sponsors into our new season. So very excited for that. The third way to fundraise is with the ACS fundraising app, and that's super easy if you have a smartphone. Definitely encourage you to download the app. It's very easy to track your fundraising, but then also to reach out and ask for support. One of my favorite features of the app is the text feature. I know a lot of folks that we're sick of getting emails. We don't want to read emails anymore. There's too many of them. But a short text and a reminder to folks that, hey, I'm walking for my brother or I'm walking for my mom can make an impact. And it gives them a really short, simple link in the text that automatically is generated when you text through the app. And they just click on the link. It takes them straight to your Relay page and they can make a donation right there, which is absolutely incredible. And so definitely encourage you all to check out the app. And then thinking about our Luminaria sales, torches and things like that, that's a great way to raise money because you know folks want to donate their Luminaria bags in honor and memory of those who fought cancer. And we can start doing that right now. I do need to double check the Luminaria store and the website just to make sure it's current and up to date on everything that we typically do in Granville. But definitely encourage you all to get out there, sell some Luminarias. And we'll work on those paper forms, the order forms that we usually do. But keep in mind, like, because we're not seeing people in person as much, we really want to encourage you all to use your Relay website, point people to the Luminary store on the website, because that's going to be the easiest way to sell those Luminari right now until hopefully we get past this pandemic and can see people in person more often. So any questions on just those 4 quick, easy ways to raise some money? No? Okay. All right. So also want to highlight how to turn in donations. And I don't think Sarah was able to join us tonight. So I don't know if Stacy, if you see her on, go ahead and correct me on that.
No, she's not.
Okay. So Sarah is still able to accept donations if you all have it. But I would encourage you to use these methods as well. We definitely, she works at the city office in Creedmoor by the police station. And I don't know, Stacy, I'm not sure if you know either, but at one point you couldn't get in the office to actually turn in anything because their office was
Hey, John.
closed. Yeah.
John, it's Justin. If they'll hit the budget on the right hand side and just let dispatch know they need to see Sarah, dispatch to let them in at Creedmoor.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Jessica. You are amazing. So there you go. If you're listening to this with us live or on the recording, if you have some donations to turn in, you still can get them to Sarah down at the Creedmoor City office. So that's a great method for sure. But if you want to do it on your own, you can still use the ACS mobile fundraising app. You can process checks and credit cards right on the app, which is amazing. That's actually, if you know, I've met a couple people and they had checks to turn in, and I showed them how to do it in the app, and they were absolutely amazed at how quick and easy it was. And the great thing there is your money posts to your Relay page right away. You don't have to wait to like mail in a check or things like that. And actually, if you were to meet me at some point and turn in a check, I'm going to process it on the app, because that saves us the postage of sending those checks in to get processed. So definitely use the app. It's absolutely amazing. If you have questions or need some help with it, you can reach out to Holly or myself, or probably anyone on the leadership team, honestly, is pretty familiar with it by now too. And then the other way, obviously with your personal fundraising page, your Relay dashboard, that's a great way just to have folks donate straight to there. And then you don't have the cash and checks that you even need to deal with. Just, hey, can you do an online donation this year? Oh yeah, no problem. Send them your link, and you can send them the link from, right from the website, right from the fundraising app. So many ways to do that. The third thing is if you want to send in checks, obviously not cash, but if you have cash, you can always turn into money order. And if you can't get it to Sarah, you're welcome to mail it into us. Now, keep in mind, our Raleigh office is closed. It will remain closed. And even when we do open some sort of an office in Raleigh again in the future, it's going to be a much smaller office, likely in a new location. And it will really just be a satellite office for drop-offs here and there. But we won't be receiving mail at that office now or in the future. So all the mail for the American Cancer Society from North Carolina is going to be going to our Charlotte office. So the address is on the screen. It'll be in everything we send out after the meeting. It's also on the Relay website under the news part. So definitely, if you have anything that you need to send in, it needs to go to Charlotte. And because it's going to Charlotte and it's not coming into Raleigh, and we don't have that staff to process it anymore, realize that Charlotte deals with all the events across the state. So they don't know who you are or who your team is unless you tell them. So definitely encourage you to use a team accounting sheet. If you don't have one, you can download one from the website. Write the event name, Relay for Life of Granville County. Make sure you include your team name and show the donations and where you want them credited on the website so that we can get that done for you. And I've also put in the what we call our society key, which is basically our accounting code. And this is what Sarah uses when she processes your money. But if you're sending something into Charlotte, please use that code as well. Like you could put it in the memo note part of your check. You can write it on a note on the team accounting sheet or whatever when you send it in, because that will definitely make sure your donations get credited back to Relay for Life of Granville County. Because we know you all are supporting the American Cancer Society, and we love you all for that, but we know you want to get credit to your local event. So please make sure you use that code and include a team accounting sheet and tell us exactly how to do that. And I realized I made a typo here, so I apologize, Holly. On the bottom of this, I said, oh, like, let us know if you're sending something in. And I left my name, but I had already changed it over to Holly's email. So if you see it on the screen, you now have Holly's email, but she'll be sending some stuff out after this meeting as well. So you can definitely reach out to her. So any questions on donations at this point? Okay, awesome. Well, we are doing pretty good on time. Okay, 8:15, awesome. All right, so let me just share this video with you all. Like I said, this is the story that was shared on the National Kickoff. And Dr. Emmons on the right, she's actually the superintendent for Elizabeth City and public schools. And she's actually just accepted a new position with the state of North Carolina. And she also sits on our local American Cancer Society volunteer board. So she's been an absolutely amazing partner. She's helped us kind of spearhead that Superintendents versus Cancer initiative that we started with her, where we're trying to reach out to superintendents across the state to get them involved with our Schools versus Cancer initiatives with Relay or any of our other events. So Dr. Evans is absolutely great. And in this little video segment, you're going to hear her interviewing Sylvia. And Sylvia is a long-term relayer and has got diagnosed with cancer during the pandemic. So let's just watch this real quick just to kind of highlight once again, like why we do what we do and why we would love for you all to get involved again this year with Relay. So I'm going to see if I can get this sound to work, and you stop me or anyone if the sound doesn't work for some reason.
Hi, Sylvia.
Hi.
It is so great to see you again. I know we chat.
I'm going to pause there. Stacy, can you all hear that?
It was working here.
Yes, I can hear it.
Okay, awesome. For 2 seconds. All right, I'll play this and then I'll regroup after.
And I know we chatted together last on the ELT rally call, and so many relayers commented on how inspirational you were for them during that time. Let's talk a little bit about your journey and then where you are now in your journey.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, I am currently fighting breast cancer. I was diagnosed the beginning of May. My first chemo treatment was the beginning of June. And when we talked last, I was coming up on my last one, which would have been close to the end of September. So yay for no more chemo. Yay.
Yay.
After that, I did test positive for the BRCA2 gene mutation. So I went ahead and instead of just doing the lumpectomy that they were talking about, we did the full double mastectomy. And that was a good thing because when they sent everything off for testing, it came back that there was no residual cancer, yay, but there were some precancerous cells. So had I not done the double mastectomy, I could be back here in a year or two doing this all over again. And that's no fun. We don't want to do that.
Absolutely.
So that was a good thing, blessing in disguise. Currently, I am getting ready to do my radiation starting on the 13th. And I will do that for 6 weeks, every single weekday. And after that, then we're looking at probably reconstruction. And also, since I did test positive for BRCA2, we're going to be proactive and do a hysterectomy too. That way, again, hopefully we're not doing this again in a year or two, because no fun. Don't do it, guys. If you can be proactive, do it.
Absolutely, Sylvia. I understand. I was diagnosed with cervical cancer 3 months after finishing up my chemo. And so then I had to go through the hysterectomy as well. And just thinking about the number of doctor's appointments and the number of treatments and being able to do that when we were not in a pandemic, and thinking about the restrictions that we have now. And I was able to have family members there with me. And I know that has not been your experience. Do you want to talk with us a little bit about what it's been like going through this journey during a pandemic, during COVID, and not having your family with you?
Oh, that has been it's been such a yo-yo, because to start off with, my very first 2 months of treatments, I had to do totally alone. All of my testing I had to do alone. I mean, nobody was allowed in the building if they weren't a patient. Then I was able to have a family member in for my last couple of treatments. And then right back to when it was time for my surgeries and stuff, the closest they could get was the waiting room. And then that was it. They couldn't come back or anything with me. And moving forward with my radiation, they're not allowed in the building at all again, because everything just keeps changing. I literally have to call almost every day to be like, what's the rule today? What's the rule today? So I know what to tell my ride. But on the flip side, my oncology team was amazing. And I can't say enough for the doctors and nurses that are there for you to hold your hand when you don't know what's going on, because they were amazing through the whole process. And I consider them wonderful friends now, not just my doctors.
I too had a double mastectomy, did not have the gene, but 3 months after finishing up my chemo treatment, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. So I went through a hysterectomy as well. So you will be in my thoughts as you move forward in your journey. And now as we think about Relay 2021, what are you looking forward to most about Relay in 2021?
I really think I'm looking forward to just having that feeling of togetherness again. Even though most of us are going to be doing it virtual, or even some virtual, some in person, like the drive-through luminarias, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's through a computer, getting to see the people that I've missed so much over these past, bunch of months now is going to be just amazing, and keeping the spirit going. And that's what keeps me going too. I tell everybody every year, they say I keep them up and going all night long, but it's really them. If they weren't there, if they weren't trying, if they weren't doing the things, I wouldn't be doing the things. So it's everybody keeping us going for it.
What about last year's Relay? Because I know you are one of those people that did the DJing and you did a lot to inspire others. What about last year's Relayers and the Relay itself that really inspired you?
So last year's Relay, we decided to do a 24-hour loan. I was like, we're still trying to do 24 hours, but online. Yeah, let's do this, because who's doing that? That's crazy. So that right there was just like a big push. And then I ended up being the overnighter, checking in on everybody every so often, keeping them going, asking them to send me a selfie of you next to, something purple or whatever at the time. And then after that, some of my other relays that I do usually attend, they would ask me to either speak for them or play music during their drive-through luminary. And just being able to still see so many of them continue on, that was just the biggest thing, because we all got that kick in the gut, like, oh no, what do you mean Relay's canceled? Like, you can't cancel Relay. Cancer isn't canceled, so how can you cancel Relay?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So being able to just see that everybody was like, nope, it's not canceled, here we go. It goes right back to the cancer doesn't sleep, so neither do we rule. It was so great to see. And so many people, even from other events, would log on to another event that weekend just to support and to see what they were doing and get ideas. And it was great, because it turned into more of a national thing rather than just, our little bitty town. So that was a huge thing too.
Wow, isn't that amazing to think that in the past we could only attend one Relay if it was the same night, but because it was virtual, you could pop into different ones and be inspired and see what others are doing. How amazing was that? Wow, Sylvia, I cannot say enough of how much you inspire me, and I've gone through the journey, but to see you and to hear your story and to hear you going through cancer in this fight during a pandemic, you are amazing. And I cannot thank you enough for giving us an opportunity to catch up with you. But just to hear your story, I'm sorry, but just to hear your story again is amazing. So thank you.
Thank you.
John, I think you're on mute.
I was on mute. Thank you, Holly. I was just talking away and y'all didn't hear me. No, I just love that story. It's great to see Dr. Edmonds, look representing us here in North Carolina, which is awesome. We love to see our local volunteers on national things. But Sylvia's story is so great. And I love the part that she shares where she got tested for the BRCA2 gene. And I know we've talked about this, so probably a lot of my Granville folks already know. But remember that your fundraising through Relay and supporting the American Cancer Society funded the research that connected the BRCA2 gene to cancer. So Sylvia is going to have a much different story, and a good story, because of that research that is going to potentially have saved her life and not have to go back and, you know, like she said, a year or two from now, be battling cancer again. So absolutely amazing. We love you all, and your support means the world to folks like Sylvia and others. And I know Jackie, I don't think she was able to join us because I don't see her, but remember Jackie also benefited from that because she got tested for the BRCA2 gene when she was battling breast cancer. So, you know, right in our own community, you can see your fundraising dollars at work supporting that life-saving research. So just know how much we love you, how important what you're doing is, and whether relay, whatever relay looks like this year, I'm really hoping we're all together in person come the end of June there at JF Web. But you know, just be flexible as we move forward, and we'll go on from there. So I'm gonna pause. I know we got like 4 minutes left. Any final thoughts or any questions for those of you left with us at this point? Michelle, you're so quiet. You're the only one I can see, so I got to pick on you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. If you're watching the recording later, great. If you have questions, reach out to Holly or myself. We'll definitely be sending out the recording, my slides for you all. And then we'll also be sending out the meeting schedule for the rest of the year, because now that we know, we kind of just locked in that June 25th date. So now that we know when relay is going to be, as long as we're in person, we can better plan for the rest of the meeting. So we're going to still continue with our monthly meetings. I just didn't want to set a calendar in stone since I knew that I was going to be passing you guys over to Holly, and I want to make sure everything works on her end as well. So stay tuned for more info when the next meeting is going to be. Get your teams registered, encourage your friends to register their teams, and then start fundraising, and call us if you need us. All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us, and we will talk to you later.